You've probably seen these videos on TikTok because they are everywhere and they are terrifying. These are the videos of Jisoo16, aka Dr. Kim. I would be very surprised if you haven't seen any of his videos because they went viral. Plastic surgery before viewing these weren't even on my TikTok algorithm, and they just appeared one day like a weird curse on my phone. And they've gone viral not just because they're a very effective way of showing a before and after, but because of this creepy, uncanny valley vibes that these videos give off. And when you look at most of the comments on these videos, they're along the lines of like, oh my fucking god, like what did you do to their faces? But there's something very bizarre about this whole profile, these videos, and I was gonna do a massive deep dive on this profile, but YouTuber Tuv did an amazing deep dive on this and went full investigative journalism on it, and I'd highly recommend you go and watch the video. I'll pin it as a comment. But to cut his very fascinating video short, you should still go and watch it. He discovered that there were multiple profiles using the same videos with different profile pictures showing different surgeons, and discovered that Dr. Kim kind of doesn't exist and the profile picture is in fact not any of the surgeons at all. But he did find Dr. Lee Fang on Facebook through another one of these facelift TikTok accounts and was able to verify that he was the poster of these videos. He found out through WhatsApp basically that they were based in Shanghai, China, where he got further proof that these videos were in fact Dr. Lee Feng's surgeries, supposedly. It's a great video, go watch it. But one thing that Tuv briefly mentioned, but not the multiple surgeons that actually reacted to these videos, is that these videos, to me, are very clearly filtered. I definitely think the surgeries were extreme, you can see that, but there is an extra kind of filter kind of thing going on that adds that uncanny valley kind of vibe. In the befores, in my opinion, in some of the videos, you can very clearly see that the face has been altered in some way. Often the nose is made to look bigger, they stretch out the jawline into like a square shape in some cases, or over exaggerate the shape of the original face to then make the afters look way more extreme. The afters are of course very extreme, but they're also very filtered too. It's almost like the standard kind of Snow app filtering where you can make the chin a lot pointier, you can make the face a lot more heart-shaped, you can make the eyes bigger, you can make the nose smaller, and it's very clear because there's some glitching around the face. There's also very obvious bits of hair that have been pulled into the face where the app has kind of shrunk the face shape and altered the face shape, so the hair is kind of going along with it. And it's very clearly done to make these before and afters extremely drastic. There's definitely some skin filtering going on, but we'll discuss that in a bit. But I am pretty sure that the before and afters would be just as shocking without the filters, which is kind of worrying because they admitted to using TikTok to promote their services. So people are paying for what they think they're seeing, yet I don't think what people are seeing is 100% the truth. But let's talk more about those after shots, right? Let's pretend that they're not filtered at all. This is 100% what you get accurate. There are a few things that make this terrifying to look at. The pointy face shape, the almost Joker looking mouths, the stretched eyes, the fact that they're making 40-year-olds look like they're 20, and the slightly creepy captions that the Dr. Kim account has alongside some of these before and afters. But what we are failing to realize is that what they're showing isn't the finished look. TikTok showed me this profile called Dr. Siddharthi, who actually documents his client's surgery, what I consider pretty well, from the surgery to full recovery. And this is a video of his client Linda. At first, this video gave me that same kind of very uncanny valley vibes, like, oh my god, like that's very Dr. Kimmy. Her face looks like it's been put on somebody else's face, you know, it's that kind of like, oh, we're just gonna shove this face on you, and they like stretch it on and pin it at the back. But Dr. Siddharthi mentions that this is only 3 days post-op. And in some of the Dr. Kim videos, they mention that the videos are taken 1 week after operation. So Linda, our Linda here, has that same creepy, uncanny valley face because she's swollen as fuck. She is bruised, she still has blood on her face. But what makes Dr. Siddharthi's videos so good is that we get to see her around 6 months later. We get to see the finished process and she looks incredible. We don't get to see that on Dr. Kim's videos. But what I would argue is that even though Dr. Kim's videos are 1 week post-op rather than 3 days, I would still argue that skin filters are being used in order to make the bruising, the swelling, the yellow of that bruise, you know, the deep reds look a lot less obvious. I was surprised that a lot of surgeons on TikTok weren't commenting this. They weren't saying that, oh no, this is a few days. Like everyone looks a little bit creepy a few days post-op. More of them were just kind of bad-mouthing the surgeon's work, which I don't know if it's good or not. I'm not a surgeon, but what we were seeing wasn't really accurate. Still creepy as fuck though. As I mentioned, watching these videos, TikTok kept feeding me more and more and more questionable surgeons. And I came across this video from Eva Arias discussing the safety of this eye color changing surgery. And we've talked about this before when it comes to tattooing the eyes. Anything around the eyes kind of makes you feel sick. However, I found the original poster of this video that he was reacting to, and it's New Color Flack. And I went to the website to try and find a bit more about this process, which is not approved by the FDA and illegal in some states in the US too. I did have to translate it from French, so it may not be 100% accurate. So they say New Color proposes a process of pigmentation of the cornea, iris tattooing, which makes it possible to modify the color of your eyes with a range of tints similar to the colors of the irises. The results are immediate and as natural as possible, which we'll discuss in a bit, because they say that this was initially used for therapeutic purposes. Keratopigmentation was developed in the early 2000s for eye reconstruction, so there is a reason why this exists in the first place. It's not just for cosmetic purposes, and these are done according to their website using biocompatible pigment with the cornea. So they say the principle of FLAC copyright technique consists in creating a microtunnel in the thickness of the cornea. The pigment is then introduced in a few seconds. So they say that, sorry, this is making my eyes go funny. So they say that the pigment used is the only manufacturer in the world to offer pigment approved by the ANSM, roughly translates to the French Agency for Safety and Health Products. I guess that's like their FDA. They say that this is painless and reversible, unlike the process of implanting an actual disc of color into the eye, which used to be something, this is making my eyes sting, which is something that used to be heavily done, but not so much anymore. The whole process takes around 30 to 45 minutes for both eyes, the results being immediate. Now listen, I'm not here to comment on the safety of it. I'm guessing what may be the equivalent of the FDA in France have approved it, which I guess is okay. I don't really know. I'm not about fucking about my eyes. I don't think I ever will. The most I do is sometimes wear color contacts. And even then it takes me a good half hour to put them in because I hate putting my fingers near my eyes. I can't stand it. What I am here to question, however, is how good it looks. Because I'm not saying it looks shit, but they did say it looks natural. And this looks like a kid's drawing to me. This doesn't look good. And in my opinion, looking at the other videos, it also doesn't look that good or natural. I'm happy if they're happy and if they can still see. I don't know whether it's just the artist. Maybe there's better eye artists out there who can make a much more convincing looking eye. But to me, that looks shit. It looks like some cheap Halloween dress up contact lenses. Apparently it's reversible though, which is good, I think. I just want to do a trigger warning for the next one. The whole video is a little bit triggering, but I find the stitching this to be particularly gross. Like it will stick in your mind a little bit. There's no blood. There's no blood. It just looks a bit weird. Whilst on my surgery algorithm journey, which is now happily back to ghosts and dogs, TikTok showed me this video. This is another reaction from, and this is what's supposedly called angel lips. And this is a trend that has been around for some time actually. And I recognize this lip shape from shopping a lot of like Asian beauty websites where this lip shape seems to be very popular for swatching lip products. And I found an article that dates back as far as 2017 talking about this procedure and how it's like a new thing and starting to trend. And whilst in Western countries, people tend to want bigger, fuller lips, this procedure to get thinner lips was relatively popular in parts of Asia. I don't think it's as popular anymore, with most of this type of surgery taking place in Thailand. Now, you know who I immediately thought of when I saw these lips was Jisoo from Blackpink and Yeji from ITZY. They have that lip shape. It's like a heart shape with a really deep kind of, what's this called? Cupid's bow? So this procedure is supposedly done by cutting the inner lip, I think chopping away what they don't want, stitching up to create a new lip line, then getting the skin under the lip, so up here, and basically pulling that up to make the lip thinner. I saw a surgeon explaining the kind of safety of this. He said it's a really common procedure actually for people who need some kind of reconstructive surgery and want the shape of the lips redefined.
It's not very often that you find people who want to reduce the size of their lips, and to be honest with you, this incision heals really well. It's not a bad way to go. I just did this for a cleft lip patient, and I've done it for many reconstructions, and those scars are almost not noticeable.
One Beverly Hills surgeon said that actually because of the negative connotations linked to overfilled lips, a lot of people with naturally plump lips are actually getting lip reductions now because they don't want to fall into that category of overfilled, overplumped, filler face person, you know? It's interesting, and I'll be honest, I think the lip itself, like how they look after once it's healed, I don't hate. I think it's cute. I think it's cute. This woman, however, in the video has the most perfect lips in the first place. Like, people pay good money for lips like that. Let me know what you think about these surgeries, especially the Dr. Kim one, in the comments down below. Watch the rest of the When Beauty Turns Ugly playlist here, some general light entertainment here, and I'll see you over there.